Okay, appreciate everybody being here. We are preparing for the Chiefs' first conference championship game since 1971, I've been told. And matter of fact, Jerry Sandusky told me that right after the game, so it was pretty cool to hear that from Jerry. I think he was probably about 10 years old when that happened, he said. His dad was the O-line coach. But we're excited about it. We're looking forward to it. It's a huge challenge. Playing a great football team, very talented, very well coached, know how to win. They've been in these situations many times. I think they've been in the championship game. Maybe this is their 6th time in a row. So they've been here before. It'll be a big challenge for us. It's our first time with this team and these guys. But we're up for the challenge, and we're excited. What questions do you have?
John, with Mark Andrews, do you feel he was close at any point, and is the expectation for him to play this week?
Yeah, we'll just see how he goes. We're looking forward to it. He practiced last week, and I'm sure he'll practice again this week, and if he's ready to play, he'll play.
You've seen Mahomes 4 times over the past 5 or 6 years, but how hard is it still the game plan for a quarterback who can make spontaneous plays and sort of, with his arm and his legs?
No question. I mean, you got to factor it in. The fact that he extends plays, he buys time. He buys time to run sometimes, buys time to throw. He's just a really elusive guy. You'll see him in space. Sometimes he'll make guys miss and all that. So, it's just Patrick Mahomes. He's unique, plays his own brand of football, been very successful. We'll just have to study him and do our best to try to keep him under wraps.
Hey, Coach, how much have you been able, or how much are you going to harken back on your AFC Championship experience? You've obviously had a win after a loss in New England, and you talk about the Chiefs and their streak here, but how much are you able to go back and maybe use some of that as experience for current players today?
I don't think it really applies too much. I mean, it's a new time, and this game. It's us. It's this team against that team at this time, and that's what we're focused on. We got to keep it simple. Just get ready to play the game.
John, what's it like going up against Andy in a game of this magnitude, given your relationship with him?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a big deal in terms of the relationship. It goes back a long, long, long way, and utmost respect for Andy, utmost appreciation for what he's accomplished as a coach. We were together for 10 years, the first 10 years there in Philly, and we were in a lot of championship games, and a lot of playoff games, and it was. I learned so much. I just learned so much as a coach and as a person. Then competing against him now all these years has been really challenging. I mean, Andy's a great coach. He's got a great staff. You name all the guys: Tom Melvin, Dave Tobe, all the guys that have come through there that we knew from the Eagles. It's just a very talented group of people, and have the utmost respect for them.
John, do you remember the first time that you met with Andy, and what are maybe some of those lessons, principles, what have you, that you took with you, I guess?
Yeah, well, I was hoping to be retained. Yeah, I know that. And he was coming in. I was 1 year with Ray Rhodes. Ray Rhodes brought me into the National Football League. Can't be more grateful. I mean, Ray Rhodes was great to be around for a year or two, and if Ray's out there listening, just thank you very much. I'm always appreciative of what I learned from Ray. And then Andy came in, and I was hoping to stay, and he gave me an opportunity to do it. And I was young and just figuring things out, so that was good of him. And hope he's glad he did. Looking back on it. But one of the things, I tell this story a lot, but one of the things with Andy, he had this 3x5 card behind his desk on his bulletin board. And it just said, "Don't judge, don't judge." And I got up the nerve to ask him about it one time, and he just basically, it's kind of a biblical principle, and take people where they're at, assume the best, try to communicate with everybody on, equal terms, and I've never forgot that.
John, you're an adopted Baltimorean at this point. I mean, what was your sense of kind of what it meant to the people in the stadium to be there for that win on Saturday, and then what it'll mean to host a game of this magnitude on Sunday? Yeah,
it seemed like it meant a lot. I'll tell you, the fans, it was meaningful. Even driving out of the stadium, there was still people everywhere, lined around everywhere. And, of course, I rolled my window down, and kind of, yelled "Go Ravens" and stuff like that. It was really fun. It was loud. It It was emotional. You could just tell how much it meant. And I would say that this is even bigger, and it's like game day. I think everybody coming to the stadium, everybody watching on TV, just like we tell our players, get a good night's rest, get a good meal before the game, night before the game, get your clock set, get your game time ready. So spiritually, mentally, physically, let's be ready to go. Let's be ready to be loud and be proud and rock that stadium.
What were you up to in 1971?
What was I doing in 1971? Yeah, you know where we were? We were at Iowa. My dad just took a job at the University of Iowa to coach a secondary. Yeah, that's when we lived in that little house on Tallren Court, and we didn't have a car half the time. Sometimes we had a car, sometimes we didn't. So when we had a car, we got a ride to school. We didn't have a car, we were walking. That's when Dad would say, "Who's got it better than us?" We'd say, "Everybody with a car." He said, "No, you don't understand the value of walking. Nobody's got it better than you."
So I'm guessing you weren't watching the AFC Championship game in Baltimore.
No. I do remember the field goal of the Super Bowl. Jim O'Brien, right? I saw that. Remember that kick? I can remember that kick. 9 years old. Absolutely. Straight ahead, right? Boom. It was a short kick, as I recall. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, this group of guys obviously seem to keep it so loose despite the high-pressure situations. Can you put into words how much fun you've had being around this particular group and the chemistry surrounding them?
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. I love being around these guys. It's just every day, you like coming to work every day. You like driving in and bebopping. I'm usually here before most of them, though, so I see them coming in, most of the guys. But they're fun to be around. It's just they come in, they're full of energy, they're determined, they want to prepare, they want to practice, they want to lift weights, they want to get the game plan. They like being around one another. When we go to practice, the energy's high. There's a lot of laughs, but there's also a lot of determination, and a lot of focus, a lot of conversation around football. When you're about football, it's fun to talk about football, and our guys enjoy that part of it. So, yeah, it's been fabulous. It's just a great group of guys and very determined football team.
John, you mentioned, do you expect Marlon Humphrey to practice this week, and how's he progressing? And to go along with that, how pleased have you been with the way Darby has stepped up? Had a pass breakup in the second play of the game really set the tone.
No doubt. Ronald Darby has played outstanding. Brandon Stevens has played outstanding. Arthur Millette has played outstanding. Rock has played outstanding. All those guys have stepped up and played very good. Coverage has just been great. And with Marlon, I promise you, if Marlon can go, he will. If he can practice, he will. I think you'll see it as the week goes on based on how much he practices. You'll probably get a pretty good feel for it. I'm pretty sure if he can be out there, he'll for sure be out there. So I'm very hopeful. We'll have to see what happens.
John, you were able to get Dalvin Cook 8 carries in the game. How much does it help your coaching staff see him in the game and the Ravens game plan moving forward?
Yeah, I think it does. He looked good, right? I thought he looked really good out there. Dalvin did, and ran hard, and showed his skill set off, and got us those yards at the end of the game, along with Justice too, and to help us, seal it away. So it's one more really good player whose hands we can put the ball into, and that's a good thing.
You talked after the game very briefly about Justice Hill, and I know early in the year they were fumbling on the mesh pointing problems between him and Lamar Jackson. It hasn't happened for a long time, but in the last, say, month or so, 2 months, how have you seen Justice Hill kind of develop over the season?
Right. Well, I've told him this. I just think he's a supremely talented player, but his heart's even bigger, And this guy, he runs so hard, and his acceleration and his burst is right up there at the top of the league. He gets the ball north. He's got really good vision, catches the ball, he pass protects, well-rounded back. I couldn't say enough about him. I think he's been a difference maker for us.
Lamar has talked a lot about, and you as well, about him being locked in. We heard it a lot this year. I'm just curious, from your perspective as coach, what does that mean to you? And is there a particular example that maybe stands out to what that meaning is?
Yeah, I don't think it's real complicated. You come to work and you come to work ready to go to work, and get locked in on what your responsibilities are and what your job is, and make sure you're prepared. And then even as a football player on the specific thing, when you line up, you lock in. You lock in on your job, your responsibility, your eyes, your feet, your hands, communication of the whole thing, just supremely focused, not looking left, not looking right, looking straight ahead, looking forward, short term and really long term too. You can be locked in for the long term too. Specific examples to me is just every play. I mean, I think it's just every play. When you watch the guys play, you can see it, and that's probably the greatest example of it. So you can pull up, to me, any play from this last game, and you'll see a bunch of guys who are locked in and focused. Probably the best examples I could give.
John made of Lamar's halftime speech. Have you seen that side of him before, especially in years previous?
Yeah, I've seen it plenty of times. Lamar's determined. I don't know. Like, it wasn't like some crazy thing, I saw it the way it was described. It wasn't like that, He was locked in. He was determined, and he kind of said some things and said, "Let's go. This is not the way it needs to be played, and we're better than that. And let's go take care of business." Is basically what he said. So, I think someone said it was profanity laced or something.
He
said what?
Lamar said there was a lot of cursing.
He said that.
He said some things I can't repeat. Yeah, but it wasn't. I don't think it's like you're imagining it. Honestly, I don't remember it that way. And I think I would, because he's just not that kind of guy. He doesn't really talk like that. But no, it was great. It's good. It was. I don't think it's a big story. I think the way he played's a big story. I think that's the even bigger story. But Lamar's a leader. Lamar is a leader from the beginning to the end in the way he plays, what he says. Guys listen to him. The way he runs the offense. He's an A++ leader.
John, there will be a lot of talk about Mahomes and Kelsey, and rightly so, but how difficult is Pacheco now in their run game just to kind of stop? What kind of challenges do they present on the ground?
Yeah, they're running the ball really well. They'll come out with 3 or 4 kind of game plan runs certain ways. Nothing that you haven't seen before, but they dial in on something that they try to exploit. And then number 10, Pacheco, man, guy's coming downhill. He's hitting it that way, all out. He's 225 pounds. His knees are up high. He's rolling. And it's going to be a big challenge for us to deal with him because he's as physical a runner as there is in the league. He's as determined as there is, and we're going to have to be a physical, determined defense to tackle him. And I like our guys. I like our guys' chances. I think our guys will be up for it, and we're going to have to be because he's a good runner.
John, what makes Mahomes so tough to bring down in the pocket? He's one of the best at avoiding pressures that turn into sacks. And I guess related to that, how significant would it be for Kansas City if Tooney can't make it? I guess he left the game yesterday with the pec injury.
Yeah, he's just got a great pocket presence. I think he sees the field and he feels the pocket. He must have antenna that he just kind of senses all that. Like your car, it's got all that sensors that starts beeping when guys get close. It must be that way for him because he kind of senses the pressure and he's able to just move around and get away, but keep his eyes downfield, slip out, all those kind of things. It's what he does. Everybody that watches football knows it. It's one of his gifts, So we're going to have to really study it, be good at defending it. I do like our guys' chances. We've got a lot of really good athletes, a lot of guys who play hard, so we'll just try to make it as hard on him as we can. As far as who's playing for them or not, that's just kind of is what it is.
Second head coach in NFL history to make conference championship appearances after a 10-year gap. The only other one was Dick Vermeil, and that was because he wasn't coaching for 15 years. Can you just talk about the challenges that you faced in reconstructing a team and working with everybody here to get back here?
No, not really thinking about that. It's like the last thing on my mind right now.
Coach, I wanted to go back to your post-game presser the other day. You started it off with the scripture, and just thinking about how you've been talking throughout the season, you've referenced faith and spirituality here and there. We see you praying with the players. They talk openly about their faith. Why is it, for you as a coach, why has it been so important to keep faith as a fabric of this team's identity?
Right. Well, one thing that it's important here is that, and we've always been this way, is that everybody expresses who they are and can be who they are, freely and without apology, and we always like to be our best self. We kind of encourage that of one another, and sometimes we fall short. But we're always striving for that, and we encourage each other to strive for that, and try to support each other as much as we can. I need as much support as everybody else does, and so we're really in a partnership here, players and coaches, and scouts and everybody in the organization, are in a partnership, and that's the basic part of it. So if faith is a part of who you are and part of your life, then it's welcomed, and so I don't try to hide that from my perspective of who I am. It's sustained me. It's improved me greatly over the years. It's the only thing I think that really does change your heart, in my opinion, is faith. You really can't do it yourself. It's impossible. It has been for me. But the more I trust, the better I get. The more I trust God, the better I get. So, I'm not ashamed of that. And I think our guys appreciate it, and everybody, whatever their thoughts are on it, they're welcomed. And there's always some good dialogue that way because we got some really smart guys and stuff. But that's the way we're formulated.
Speaking smart guys and people expressing themselves, your defense has obviously been outstanding this year. When you think back to Mike's early years and you sort of tapping him, what stood out to you most about him that kind of gave you that belief and confidence in him?
Yeah, Mike's just I think real genuine person. A lot of great coaches on the staff. They all kind of share this particular trait, but he was here young. He's just out of college, and he was very eager and very smart and very motivated and hardworking and all those kind of things. And you could just tell, he had all those kind of traits. I think he's been raised the right way. His parents are incredible people, and so he just got to it, worked hard at it, and kind of game up through the system. And then with this particular defensive system, he's probably been blessed with the opportunity to grow with the same system, and then the evolution of the system over the course of the last 9-10 years. He's been right in the middle of all that. So it just is with a smart guy like that who works hard like that, who's in that kind of a circumstance. That's the result. I think is what you see is you just got a really good feel for it. You got a feel for the game itself, but he's also got a great feel for applying the principles that he's been a part of developing actually over the last 9 or 10 years. And he's a hardworking guy. He's got a great staff around him. I mean, it's never one person. All those guys on defense are great coaches. I'm telling you, it's a really good staff. They work well together. They collaborate. They listen to one another. They communicate well with each other and the players. It's just a good group.
John, like Brian said, the defense has been great all year. They're great again Saturday. It seems like they continue to ace every test. How excited are you just for the challenge of them going up against this Chiefs offense who's been so good this time of year?
No doubt. I mean, that's a great point. Just looking forward to it. Yes, excited for the challenge of it, to go in there with these bunch of guys. I tell the guys all the time, man, it's going to be an honor to take the field with you men in this game, this opportunity to be side by side with you guys, because I just admire them and the way they play, and it's true of our whole team, not just our defense. But you ask about the defense, it's going to be a massive challenge, but it's going to be one that we accept, right? And we couldn't be more excited about.
John, obviously you go back with Steve Spagnuolo quite a few years. What's impressed you about how that pass rush and secondary kind of tie everything together, and how they're able to generate pressure from a lot of different ways?
Yeah, not surprised at all. I mean, Steve was here coaching. I was with Steve in Philly for all those years, and then he was here for a couple years coaching. So you see he brought stuff into this, and he's contributed to our system. When he was here, and I can see that we contributed to his system too when I watch him on tape, and that's good. That's the way it's supposed to be. But great football coach. They have a great staff too. Joe Cullen's over there too, and other great coaches. But very smart system, very well organized. Incredibly, they play really hard. It's a challenge to game plan against. Honestly, I mean, I don't understand why I don't see Steve's name for head coach. I'm trying to scratch my head on that one. He's very deserving of an opportunity.
Coach, on a lighter note, I don't know if your daughter's a Taylor Swift fan, but I know the NFL seems to be. Might the Ravens might not have a skybox available for her or Jason Kelsey this week, and they might have to sit in the elements. So, how are you dealing with the sideshow of the Chiefs at all? Have you experienced any?
Why am I not surprised Jerry would ask me that question? It's like, no, I haven't been distracted by that at all. Hasn't really crossed my mind at all. No, I can't say it has. No, my daughter's in college. I mean, she's not gonna be at the game. You know, I've got some Taylor Swift songs on my phone. I do.
Might they be deleted this week?
No, I mean, what does that have to do with it?
She's dating the opponent.
Is it time to end this press conference? All right, everybody, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.